India. So I wrote this melody uncaffeinated and on a morning between two pretty bad days. So I got up this morning a couple days later and was pretty sure I was going to sit here and go through it and say, oh yeah, I don't like that, but I really love it. So I was wrong, I guess. Even when you're not feeling at your best, it's possible to write something decent. So good lesson for me, good lesson for everybody. The old, I don't feel like it, I'm not in the mood, is a bunch of crap. Don't believe the crap that sometimes you're, whatever, the weakest part of you feeds you some crap sometimes. Don't accept it. All right, you didn't dial this video up for a lecture. All right, so what are we doing? We got those 8 lines right that I think amount to 2 verses. Is that right? So we pretty much have our whole verse written, our whole, the melody for both verses, because I imagine we'll just repeat the melody on the next verse. I really like it. Cool. But we got a chorus. Quick 2-line chorus. I wonder. I did 4 lines of verse. Ended up being just 4 lines of staff paper. I wonder if I can do these. Or I should say 4 stanzas. No, I only did 2 stanzas, didn't I? Alright, don't get excited. We don't have that much done. We have quite a bit done, but not a ton. So let's just keep going on the verse. I get confused on lines versus stanzas. Each stanza has 2 lines. And we've only done 4 lines, so that means we've only done 2 stanzas. So we are on, I kind of numbered these in the order I thought they should be on. We're on number 3. So the question becomes, do we take that shortcut of, no, I'm not taking the shortcut this time. I'm going to make this song a little bit less repetitive. So for these next 4 lines or 2 stanzas, however you want to look at it, I like calling them stanzas because it's, that includes the 2 end words that rhyme. Alright, so we got her sun outshines my overcast. What's the 4th one? Her sun outshines my overcast, her optimism everlasting. I would like a 4-chord kind of feel right here. do like that. Her sun outshines my overcast. My thick pencil is all dull. Definitely prefer that, man. This thing's tiny. I'm so used to using the fat one. Just feels like I can barely hold on to this because it's like trying to write with one of the hairs on someone else's head. So little. One, two, two. Okay, got it. One and two and three and four and so what is it? Her sun outshines my overcast. Her sun outshines my overcast. Her sun outshines my overcast. Her optimism everlasting. I like that. 3 and 4 and 1, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the same line. I don't care. Of course, to the next. Her optim is probably just the I. Ev. That's an 8th note. In case you were wondering, I know you were on the edge of your seat. I think that's right. these over from the previous measure, so her last in that was a quick stanza. Where's number 4? Right there. Bring that down so I can see it. I like that. Coming down and then going back up. So there's some very obvious things you can do to create natural louds and softs. And the two most obvious are I guess it's just one. At least in vocal music, but really probably in instrumental as well. If you've got a line, well, I guess that is the two things. A line that, as the music goes along, each note is getting higher. That builds volume and, drama or emphasis or whatever. But also just the fact that notes are higher. So if you wanted to really emphasize a line of lyrics or a line of melody, just go to about the highest note that you can sing or the highest note in the range of a given instrument, and it's going to be pretty loud. It should probably be a hair lower. So if I'm leaning forward like this, oh, that is just awesome camera work. Look at that. So that's what we've done here. I generally do everything in the key of G. So this isn't that high. This is going to be a D and an E for me. I mean, thing is, when I do these little final versions or demo versions or final drafts, whatever we're calling what I do at the end of these series of videos, I never use my full voice because it's always, 5 or 6 a.m. in my house, and I don't want to wake people up. So, kind of goofy. Because I really strain unless I'm using my full voice. Okay, getting sidetracked. I gotta get back to this. So we got this line: she seeks, accepts, and embraces my influence. And that's a good line. And cooperates with deft nuance. And it's really true. It's not like she is subservient or, oh, there's a much better word for that. She's not a sycophant. That's not the word I wanted. She's not a slave. She somehow finds a way to assert herself, but also, encourage me. Isn't there, don't we have the word encourage somewhere in these lines? I can't remember, but, the very first line: she refuses to compete with me, loves and encourages the man in me. So, cooperation instead of competition, ladies. I'll say that again. Cooperation with your man instead of competition with him. Don't try to be the better man against your man. Just be you and let him be him. It's not a competition. It must be a morning for lectures. What else would you like to know? All right. She seeks, accepts, and embraces my influence. So we just did this. Let's go for the one chord here. Just so I don't really write those in advance. Just seems like they naturally go with whatever notes I'm writing down, but you know, more than one ways to skin a cat and all that. Stretch this out. I don't want to shove all these words into just a tiny box. She seeks. She seeks and accepts. I like that. Just do it a tiny bit at a time. So, got a pickup note. Do you remember what a pickup note is? Thanks. That's going to be a long kind of hold on the word seeks. But that's all right. So I think it's a tie. I'm trying to remember how to write that. Seeks. She seeks and accepts. Mm. 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 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mm. A lot of erasures here. Where do we go with that, though? It's just, I don't know. Seems awkward, but, you know, in time and with practice, it'll go into the system and seem normal at some point. She seeks and accepts. I think that's the whole measure. Just do maybe an eighth note there. So that's actually a little half rest right there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and embrace. Mm-hmm. 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 Extend the line like always. No concept of space. Always run out of space. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and so this is like this, and those two are like that, and it's a tie. M. I need more paper. Pray. This is just a. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, what chords though? Be good to write those in. Mm-hmm. 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 No, that's okay. Usually the 4 chord leads to the 5 chord, but twice now we've gone from a 5 chord to a 4 chord. And I like the way it sounds. We did that in a different song. I don't think it's uncommon, or I don't think it's an anomaly. It's not as common as going from 4 to 5, but I don't know, I just like the way it sounds, and since it's a little uncommon, it's kind of a surprise, kind of a unique thing, and I think that's cool. Anything I can do to be more unique, although, sometimes too much of a good thing. Says, that word influence. Where do I put that in a measure? Influence. Oh, I like the line too much to change it. I wanted to put something in here about mansplaining. I mean. Never good when you can't read your own. Ways. I think it's fun to put little jokes in to not take yourself so seriously. Extend that line. Uh-oh. This is a tie. Try to not forget that. Oh, what an ineffective POS eraser. A lonely eighth note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is that what I want to do? Embraces my man, splaining ways. I mean, my influence. Extra note right here. Influence. What's the rhythm though? Ways, I mean my influence. Just all eighth notes. I mean, this could be whatever it is. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it. Oh, well, that's not it. We have one more. The last line, the second line, and the last stanza here of our first verse. Doing pretty well. Okay. She. Let's do a she right there. Boy, that's an ugly F. Better! What's that note? A, B, C, D, E. I can hear it in my head, but it's hard to figure out how it fits with what chords. First of all, you were thinking of the wrong chord, so try to relax. And she cooperates. So it's goofy quarter rest. D, 4, and those are quarter notes. These two are eighth notes. Were you wondering what those were going to be? And she up that's an R. Eights. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let's make that a quarter for now. I don't know that that's a 3 chord. That might be a. That's a first inversion 1 chord. Just happens to have the same bass note as the 3 chord. And this is going to be weird, but we'll change it once we have the. Oh, we're not going to do it on the guitar. Cooperates. Ooh, I like this. I don't know how I'll play it. Oh, but I don't have to play it on the guitar, so I need to relax. Just relax. Doesn't have to be in the key of G because I'm not playing it on the guitar. shove that all right here. Give me a break. Luckily, I have 1,000 pencils. We got enough sharp. Oh, you do that right, didn't you? You need some kind of rest right there. Oh, that is just terrible. 1, 2, 3. Another goofy quarter rest. They're just really hard to draw. 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and love those dotted quarter notes. Don't you? I'm sure you do. With deft nuance. That's it. That's the entire melody for the verse, and we'll just plug in. So I did 8 distinct lines of melody, which is kind of what my heart desires anyway. But I want, if I do a lot more repetition of melody, I really learn to love that too. It's just a personal preference. So I caved to my own personal preference in this song. So I feel really good about this. And I think it's funny that I'm kind of throwing that word mansplaining and claiming that my wife likes it when I mansplain. Yeah, I married a unicorn. Okay, well, that was really fun. I had plenty of caffeine. Got a lot to do today ahead of me, but I feel really good because this right here that I'm doing right now is the one thing. Have you seen City Slickers? If you're under the age of 45 or so, you probably haven't. Billy Crystal is the star, but it also has that really old guy that does the one-arm push-ups, really famous guy. That guy, I mean, Billy Crystal is probably 10 years older than I am, and that guy is at least 20 years older than I am. No, he's probably older than my dad. He probably, if he were alive, would be like 90 right now or older. Anyway, so these, I was just watching almost a remake of City Slickers last night, a brand new movie called Me Time with Kevin Hart and what's his name? The really muscly rapper from the 90s. Hasn't rapped in a long time. He's been an actor for a long time. Mark Wahlberg. So Mark Wahlberg plays the part of the crazy friend that likes to, every time he has a birthday, do crazy, just these people who are adrenaline junkies and jump out of planes and stuff. Well, City Slickers, way back from probably the late 80s, early 90s, I don't know when it was kind of a similar thing, except this guy's crazy friends, especially the one crazy friend, but he has two crazy friends that every time he has a birthday, they, months and months in advance, they plan something crazy for them to do. And in this case, all these guys that are, I don't know what city they're from, but they're City Slickers. They go to this dude ranch, which is a place that you go to pretend to be a cowboy, because everybody kind of has that dream. But they get there, and it's more serious than they think it was going to be. They're actually going to go on a cattle drive. They're going to drive these cattle from like Texas or something all the way up to Montana, something crazy like that, or Colorado, I'm not sure. But on a horseback, that is so far. These guys have hardly ever ridden a horse. I'm not sure if they've ever ridden a horse. Anyway, so I guess the reason why middle-aged men do crazy, crazy stuff like that is because we're trying to find meaning in life. Because if you're not careful, which pretty much no one is careful, we all fall into this rut of, okay, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I gave up on all my dreams to just kind of work a job I don't really like and fill all these roles that aren't, frankly, very exciting or fun. So there's that midlife crisis. So every year, these guys in City Slickers have a mini midlife crisis, and they go off on Mitch, I think is Billy Crystal's character's name. They go off on a goofy activity on Mitch's birthday to kind of, I don't know, escape from their boring jobs and terrible lives and whatever. So they're out in the middle of nowhere driving this huge cattle herd. It's just the three of them, a couple of cowhands, and then this old, can't remember what they call him, but he's in charge of the whole thing, really. This old guy that his whole life he's just been a cowboy, and he's wise, and he's, grizzled and wizened. And he and Mitch are sitting there one night, and Mitch, he's, how would I describe him? He's kind of a navel-gazing wuss. Hello, kettle, this is the pot. You aware of what color you are? So he starts to get into it in conversation with Curly, the old cowboy guy. Start to talk about the meaning of life. And Curly, the old wizened wise cowboy, turns to Mitch, this skinny little short little, in real life he's a stand-up comedian, he's hilarious, but anyway, you know what I know the secret to life is? It's one thing. It's this. No, he says, you know what the secret to life is? And Mitch says, yeah, tell me what the secret of life is. Because Mitch already kind of thinks this guy's got it figured out, because they're out under all the massive amounts of stars because there's no light pollution, and they're driving cattle. They deliver a calf together, so Mitch is shoulder deep inside this cow because the calf is stuck inside there, and he pulls this brand new baby calf out of the cow. They have all these experiences that are real cowboy experiences. Instead of just riding around a horse and dinking around on some ranch, they ride horses for hundreds of miles. It's just crazy. What's the secret to life? It's this. He just holds out his finger. And Mitch literally says, your finger? And he says, one thing. You figure out that one thing, and you're going to be fine, or whatever. I don't know what the rest of the line is. So this making these videos of me writing songs and trying to explain to you how to do it so that you can write songs yourself. That's my one thing. So in a way, this is sort of my midlife crisis, I guess you could say. Just because I'm taking an hour or so each day, most days, to do what I've always had in the back of my mind. I thought, man, I really should be writing music. Man, I really should be writing music. I just never get around to it because it's a lot of work, and it feels like, standing in an echo chamber and saying hello, and your voice just comes back to you, hello, 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 and just swallowed in that echo chamber. And turns out there's nobody there in the echo chamber to say hello to, so you're just kind of by yourself. So that makes it seem like, not even worth the effort then. But as I've said before, to turn on this camera and do it for you, my audience, it makes it a lot more fun. It's a strange thing. You're not here, and yet it seems like you're here, watching me do this and listening to me and getting something out of it, and saying to yourself, oh, that doesn't look that hard. I think I can do that. I mean, I think when you attempt it, you're going to find it's not as quick and easy as it looks like it is to me. I've been doing this my whole life, just kind of off and on, mostly off. And I've had all this musical training in theory and in notation and piano, singing, So, and you may not have had that. So I want to kind of lower your expectations. Be ready to be like, oh, this is a little harder than I thought it was going to be. But don't. It's not impossible. This is bugging me. There we go. Much better. So I really do want you to try it, regardless of your level of musical knowledge or even talent. Just try. Do something. Whistle a little bit of a tune, and then see if you can repeat that little tune, right? And repeat it enough times to where you've got it memorized. That'd be a good way to start. Anybody can whistle a tune or hum a tune. Just a few notes as you're out for a walk, or do it inside your head as you're falling asleep. But repeat it enough times to where you've got it memorized. You don't have to write it down. I just like to write it down because it feels like less work to me than sitting there trying to memorize it. But get that tune, and then you can either add to that tune and make it a few notes longer and just keep repeating it so that you've got it memorized and it's in your ear and your heart and your soul. And then once you've got a little bit of a tune that maybe it's just long enough for one line of lyrics, well, then just come up with something to say, right? What is something that you think is an important thing that you'd like to share with someone, right? Always do your best. I mean, it sounds trite, it sounds whatever, but that's a good line. That's a good message for someone to give to the world. Always do your best. We all know that. We all know that we should do our best. But it doesn't matter if stuff that you write is well-known facts, well-known elements of the truth. It's important to remind people what those things are, because we all forget. This repetition is what we need. It's kind of the mother of all learning. I just said it. If you whistle or hum a happy little tune, you got to repeat that and repeat that and repeat that until it's one with you, so that you've got it. And then, like I said, just come up with some words. But the repetition is what is going to make you learn it, and so it's your own. Right? That's how we all learned our primary language that we were born into. You just heard these same things over and over again from your mom and dad. And, you got just a few months older, and you make your first attempt at some new word because of all the repetition you've heard. Right? And you just go from word to word, and pretty soon you can, as a little 2-year-old or whatever, you can string a sentence together. It's because you've heard those words so many times, and you say it for the first time, you might say it wrong. You're saying it with a weird baby accent that your parents think is cute, but you do need to kind of learn to say it correctly. So that's what learning is. And so, if you come up with words that are, that was my words that I come up with are way too obvious. So what, man? Any listener has the need for the repetition of obvious kernels of wisdom, like always do your best. Because so many times we just phone stuff in. We just do the bare minimum because it's easier and it's quicker, and it often doesn't feel like it's going to be worth it to work really hard and really, because every kind of toil, every kind of effort in which you engage is a creation, is a work of art. It's not as sexy as writing music, but whatever it is you do for your job can be a work of art if you do your best. So it's just a good reminder. So that's a pretty good line. I'm not necessarily going to build a song around that, but all right. So that's enough jibba jabba for one day. Got all my chords written in. We got a nice verse melody. So we just got to plug in the second verse to this melody and then figure out something for those 4 lines, 2 stanzas of chorus. And then the song is completely written. I just have to, I'll bring the laptop into the piano and you'll see what it might be like to write a song on the piano. It's just a much more familiar instrument to me. I can play in any key. Obviously, some keys are going to be extremely difficult, and I don't want to play in those. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. That's it for today, though. Hope you have a great day. Bye.